Hello my friends, my family, here, and esteemed colleagues. The same questions are being repeated now about pathogens. Well, if pathogen doesn't really destroy the body, so how are all these diseases created? What is this? How come that there is flesh-eating bacteria, and how come there is this fungal infection that is creating these problems, and bacterial infection creating these problems? Well, pathogens, that we call pathogens, is just a second stage cleanup service. First stage is your white blood cells. They are not your immune system. They are garbage disposal system. If the garbage in the body is not marked, they don't know that they have to dispose of it. So this foreign entity could be living in, or garbage could be in your body and not being taken care of, because your white blood cells basically don't know that it is a garbage. And I explained that all glucoholics do not produce marker for garbage. And this is why what we call immunity does not really exist in glucoholics. You scratch yourself a little bit, it gets infected very easily. Infected again, this is the word that we think, now pathogen is going there. Well, I said that what we call pathogens are the second stage, or we can call it second and third stage of cleansing. So whatever can be dealt with through the first stage, which is your white blood cells, your macrophage, again, if it is being shown the problem, it will deal with it. Then comes the second stage, when the garbage is becoming so abundant, so plentiful, that it cannot be missed. And when the white blood cells start dealing with it, well, now way more is involved, because we are talking about high toxicity. And this is where fever comes in. And again, it is not the bacteria, yes, that is causing it. It could be present. Now, why would it be present? Because there is a higher load of garbage constantly available, and your macrophage is not doing the job. So the second stage comes, which involves a little organism showing up. Now, where does this organism show up? Remember, everything is frequency. It is actually created by your body. But once when it is created, it becomes physical and it can be transmitted. Now, will the transmission of it cause a problem? Well, again, you are transmitting frequency. It is going to put on alert the other body. It is going to go into defense mode, first by shrinking, eliminating some cellular garbage, which goes into the blood, and we get the symptoms of toxic blood. And now bacteria present that can actually feed on the garbage, and actually has the vibration of the similar garbage that was also in the other individual that it came from. So this is how we can spread with microorganism, because it becomes physicality, which is not the case with virus. It never became physicality. It only acts as an energetic disturbance. And now, if there is a more garbage, then you have parasites to take care of it, because they can consume way more of this garbage than bacteria. Bacteria can consume way more than macrophage. Now, how can we see that this is true? Because this could be just imagination, right? But it's not. Before the age of antibiotics, there were wars all the time going on, brutal wars, basically with bows and arrows and swords. People were cut. This was always getting infected. And what happened? They healed. Even puncture wounds, deep wounds, no antibiotic, and they healed. What is with the bacteria? Well, it all depends, again, knowing the truth. When wound, let's say deep wound, start getting affected by the toxins and by the microorganisms that come in, you have a lacerated tissue there. Lacerated tissue has to be eliminated so the healing can go on. So what happens? The lacerated tissue is starting to disintegrate, becomes necrotic. We call it necrosis. Okay? Becomes dead, necrotic. And what happens is that now it smells differently. So you have flies coming in, they lay eggs, they see, they smell the frequency, they get there, leave the eggs. Now you have worms, and worms take care of the necrotic tissue. And this is part of the healing process. This is why in the past we were not covering the wounds. What you see in the movies, this is all baloney. Wounds were being left open so the natural healing can take place. The flies would lay eggs, worms come, and worms eat. What do they eat? They eat only the necrotic tissue. Yes, they, at the last stage, they actually do the cleanup all the way to the healthy cells, but they don't eat healthy cells, and I explained why. It's like chewing on a battery. You don't like this electric pulse in your mouth. Just put positive, negative, and put it on your tongue. I'll see how much you like it. So, same is with worms, and same is with bacteria. They basically cannot attack a healthy cell because it has voltage, electrical current, and electromagnetic fields. So it's difficult to approach bacteria, it's difficult to approach it, and worm, yeah, it can approach it, but then it gets zapped. So just cleans around it. And they do perfect cleaning. You don't need sterilization, nothing. When worms are done, you are clean. And this is how people used to take care of the deep puncture wounds and lacerations in general. Because once tissue has been lacerated, cut, there are parts of it will die. There is no way, because healing comes from within. So what was damaged, the electromagnetic fields all damaged, cannot connect anymore. You have positive, negative fields. If they overlap, they cling together, and this is where healing goes. And then they heal with the scar across. Now, what happens? We have a problem in hospitals with flesh-eating bacteria, and they are not responding to antibiotic. Now, why are they not responding to antibiotic? Because the tissue is so toxic that the cells already put out the stress proteins and closed the openings between cellular membranes, so the cells cannot push any more garbage out and no garbage can come in. So this stabilized, but still you have necrotic tissue that is falling apart. And this is what the bacteria are eating. They are not eating your fresh tissue. Just look at necrotic, look at the part of the body that is being so-called attacked by flesh-eating bacteria. It is always very inflamed, usually necrotic, and has to be dealt with. Now yes, we do it surgically, so you cut it out, but you cannot, if it's deep through the tissue, you have necrosis. And why the necrosis? Because of toxicity. Bacteria has absolutely nothing to do with this. And bacteria is there only because there are necrotic parts. What causes necrosis? Well, poison. There is some kind of a poison that was released. Of course, in hospitals, medication. Everybody is medicated up to gazoo. And very easily can come to necrosis. You get disturbance in blood circulation. Poison gets trapped in one area, bingo, necrosis. And then you have bacteria chewing on it, and wow, not even antibiotic helps. Of course, this whole area is shut out. It's such a strong toxin that caused it that antibiotic is baby water. There's nothing there. As far as toxicity goes, that it can make any difference. You are dealing with extremely toxic piece of a body that somehow has to be cleansed. Now, yeah, you can soak it with colloidal silver. We are going to destroy the bacteria, but you have to do the cleansing. You have to eliminate necrotic tissue. Usually it is eliminated through mucus, through bleeding. Okay, so the area bursts and starts bleeding out, toxins coming out. It could be reabsorbed into the tissue, but that gives you high fever and cleansing symptoms, diarrhea, vomiting, muscle aches. All this is present with people who are dealing with so-called flesh-eating bacteria. They eat garbage, they don't eat your flesh. But you are in such a bad toxic state that it is very difficult to stop it, because your whole body is toxic. So from one ulcer, one little cut, it can just spread out everywhere. We have to learn new medicine, because everything we know is a junk medicine. Medicine. Time to switch from medicine to understanding of the reality that we live in, that we have created. Will antibiotic help? No. Stronger and stronger poison you put, you usually take it internally, affects the whole body, and you have more chance of destroying the rest of your body. Sometimes amputation is the best thing to do, but everything can actually be healed through cleansing. But don't wait until house is burned to start putting water on it. So you got to stop way earlier, otherwise there is nothing to save. We always wait too late. We wait too long, but now also it was good for us to wait till the last minute, because we will be poisoned faster. Because the way how we are told that body works, and the way how we are schooled in medical school, how to treat ailing body, is actually to poison it and to destroy it. Again, it's nowhere more visible than in treatment of cancer. Chemotherapy. This is direct assault on the whole body, so strong. It's such a strong toxicity that you immediately lose all hair, which means your body is taking a third step of detox through skin. Well, everything else also. You get nausea, you get diarrhea, you feel like dying, everything is shutting down. Fever, sweating, and loss of hair. So much toxicity, your body is trying to get it out as quickly as possible. And this is also why people on protocol, they are full with plasma and they receive chemotherapy, nothing happened to them except diarrhea and nausea. Because they immediately took it out the fastest possible way through the biggest detox valve, which is your colon. And they never lost hair because it never reached, detox never reached skin. It was dealt with in time. Same happens with these toxic jabs now that are serving for depopulation. You can take them out. Just load on plasma. In time, longer you wait, the deeper it goes into your cells and more difficult it is to get it out. You can get it out again with the protocol, but then you have to watch what you eat, how you eat, to maintain the cellular hydration going, using Babek's blood electrifier. This is what is available now to everybody to protect themselves and to deal with the situation. See, we have also the frequency modulators ready, but we are not using them still. This is going to be second stage after the disclosure. Okay, so everything, if you think about it, just everything makes sense. You have a problem, I hear it all the time. Oh, Darko, I got rid of fungus, my rash went away, but it came back. So I got fungus again. Well, you got the rash, you have the problem, toxic problem in the area. And now, yes, maybe fungus return, but most likely there is not even fungus, but you have all the same symptoms because fungus doesn't cause them. It is the deterioration of the body because of toxicity. And fungus just feeds on it and actually helps you to reduce the toxic layer in that area. So when this comes back, it's because another set of detox came from your cells, polluting the blood again, and again you have the same symptoms occurring until the blood gets cleaned. So it's a process. The whole healing thing is a process. And you can be in a bad shape with the bad symptoms, then they even out, you feel great, then they come back, then they go away, and then you think, okay, now nothing is happening, everything is fine, and all of a sudden, pow, yeah, zap, with completely different symptoms, high toxicity, of that diarrhea, your intestines basically locked down, because now all of a sudden you have some emotion that you are cleansing. And what it involves, it's your organs that vibrate with emotion signal, frequency, which is your liver, your spleen, your pancreas, and often kidneys. And this is where the problem is. And again, the toxicity comes out the closest possible way, through diarrhea or burping, producing gas. And so we are learning how to recognize all the symptoms of detox. And it's the frequency. So forget about the things. Oh, well, you know, if I take this and this medication and this, forget about biochemistry. Forget about the pharmaceutical industry. It's a history. Just think frequency. And where could it come from? How it resonates. Fix the frequency and you're fine. And there are ways to do it, and cleansing it. Cleansing is one way, and retuning it is another way. And strengthening your immune system, which means raising the cellular voltage, is the optimal way. You just straighten the voltage and you are healthy. You gotta practice these things, and we get better and better at it. Me too. I'm learning. As I'm talking, I'm learning as well. And then we have to put it in practice, to actually practice it. Keep fear away. Something frightens you, put a smile on your face, immediately fight it. Fear is your mind. Mind is fearing the change, no matter what it is. Change coming, mind is in fear. This creates toxic energies. Connected with your heart. How? Through smile. You immediately create different frequency that connects you with muscles to your heart. Again, it's frequency. You just shift your focus from fear to heart. And if you don't know how to do it, smile and think of Creator. If you have faith, whatever you have faith in. Is it Jesus? Is it Allah? Is it Jehovah? Is it Krishna? Is it grandfather? Doesn't matter. If you really have faith that they are the ones helping and taking care of you, you put your focus there. Put smile, put your focus there, and you will see how easily you snap out of fear. Thank you for listening. Till next time. Love you all.